And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the designated hitter episode. Yes, I understand we're doing the positions out of order now, but we'll all live and live another day. So, we are doing this episode on designated hitters, which I will say is a little bit of a tricky situation because so many guys have played DH, so many guys end their career at DH, so many guys, the different amounts of games is kind of nuts. Where you think of guys play, but we try and do our best. Like last week, we had the Ernie Banks situation. I'm sure we're going to have at least one, if not multiple situations like that today where we have to discuss whether a guy makes it. But we're going to try and do better after this episode. We're going to go in and try and figure out our outfielders and where we put them before we record the next episodes. So hopefully this is the last episode where we have problems like this. That being said, Drew, who's your number 3 designated hitter?
My number 3 is Edgar Martinez.
He's my number 2.
He's also my number 3.
He's also my number 3.
He was in consideration, but he didn't make mine.
Wow, I'm surprised, Uncle Doug.
Well, old Edgar, 7-time All-Star, 5 Silver Sluggers. He had 2 batting titles. He had 27 hits, 300 home runs, and he batted .312 for his batting average. So, pretty good numbers for DH. And him and Ken Griffey with the 1-2 punch there at the beginning of the batting lineup.
Don't forget about Jay Buhner. I don't know if you remember old Jay Buhner, but Jay Buhner was a beast for a few years.
Yeah, young A-Rod was there too.
Yeah. Yes. So just so everybody's aware, Edgar Martinez played 1,400 games at designated hitter and 500 games at third base and 28 games at first base. So he's almost entire career at DH. So there's no argument about whether he is a DH. He was a career DH pretty much. And that's all I remember him. I don't really remember him playing on the field.
Honestly, what can you ask for? It was a better position in baseball, being a DH. You just bat. I mean, half the game you get to go sit down, and you just get to focus on batting most of the time. I mean, every once in a while they say, hey, we go play first? Yeah, I can go stand out there and put my foot on first, put my left or right hand up. I mean, if I got to go shag a ball in foul territory, I'd probably do that, but, I mean.
Yeah. Now, Edgar Martinez was remarkably consistent. A .312 batting average, playing 18 years in the league. I mean, that's pretty nice. He won 2 batting titles, like Drew mentioned. He also led the league in RBIs one year with 145. That was in 2000, where I believe the Mariners set the record for most wins in a season that year.
It was somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's right there close. It's like, what is it, 116? Or is it more?
I think it's something like that, yeah. But his power numbers came and went during his career. He did have some bigger seasons. He had 37 one year, and then he had a couple seasons where he was in the teens. He was kind of all over the place with his power numbers, but his batting average and his hits stayed solid. He led the league in doubles twice. He led the league in runs scored once. He led the league in on base percentage 3 times. He was just a good hitter. He was a good hitter. So 312 with 300 home runs. I think you might like more power out of your DH position, but 300 home runs isn't terrible.
Well, I think a lot of that, he didn't really start playing full-time baseball until he was 27 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes away a lot from his career totals. And then he has some injuries in there and has a couple seasons where he misses some time. But in his prime, he could rake, man. He could rake.
He could. Yeah. And this is another guy that not only did he play on the West Coast, so games start so stinking late, but he played in Seattle, where nobody cares most of the time about the Mariners. I'm not trying to be mean. We're going to have Buddy here for a few episodes, and Buddy's a huge Seattle Mariners fan. But no, for the most part, who cares about the Mariners? Yeah. They just broke the record for, or just, I don't know how you call it, broke their streak. That ridiculous, 26 seasons without making the playoffs, something stupid 22 seasons without making the playoffs, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. If he was a Yankee, how would we view him? Because his career numbers are, similar to Derek Jeter's, other than he doesn't have 3,400 hits.
Yeah.
How would we look at him if he was a Yankee or a Dodger? So, anyway, I think Edgar Martinez was a worthy pick there, Drew.
Thank you.
All right. Who has a number 3 left?
I do.
Uncle Doug?
Okay, mine was Paul Molitor.
Oh, Paul
That's my
Molitor.
number 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't even look at Paul Molitor because I don't think
Well, I
of him
wanted
as
you
a
to look up
DH.
his games because I'm not sure about the games
No.
after we had our discussion.
I got you. He played the majority of his career at DH.
Okay. Well, I thought he did, but
He played a little under 1,200 games at DH. The next closest is a little under 800 at third,
okay.
and then 400 at second, 200 at first, and then a bunch of just small numbers scattered across everywhere else. But his highest number is DH at just under 1,200.
Okay.
I didn't
Cool.
realize he DH'd that much.
I didn't either until I started doing my research and stuff, and then it's like, whoa, maybe I better, because he and Edgar were the two that I was back and forth on. And he batted .306, 234 homers, but 3,300 hits. 7 All-Stars, 4 Silver Sluggers, and a World Series MVP.
Yeah.
He also stole 500 bases.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. The 3,300 hits, the 500 stolen bases, the World Series, career batting average over 300. Did have a little pop in his bat. And let me pull up his postseason. Didn't play a ton of postseason games, but played about 29 postseason games. But in those games, he batted .360 and had an on-base percentage of almost .430 in his postseason career, which is...
But the real question is, what was his WAR?
Well, that I don't know.
Yeah.
And that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How'd you even do WAR for a DH?
you just do batting.
Just
Yeah,
do
they don't get fielding WAR, which
Right.
makes their WAR really low.
Right, be no defensive.
Yeah.
It'd just be offensive.
Yeah. We've explained this a couple times, but don't you get a bunch of WAR for playing, center field? And
Center field, shortstop, and catcher.
I mean, if you're just someone who just plays defense and you're just okay at it, it gives you a giant bump compared to a DH who doesn't play it at all.
Well, just playing defense, just walking out there and standing there and doing nothing, you get a bunch more points than a DH.
I mean,
Like,
it could be a negative if you suck at it. I mean, it
We
could,
don't need to go back
Well, here-
down to
but here's the thing with defense. I don't like WAR in general, but defensive WAR is even more fickle than offensive WAR. Because leave offensive WAR, they're basing it on your numbers.
Right.
Defensive WAR, a lot of it's guesstimating and like, well, we think he might have been able to get to this ball, so we're gonna dock him on that,
Yeah.
and like stupid shit like that. A lot of it's like opinion based. They don't take like, oh, well, this line drive was only 3 feet off the ground and it was only this many feet away, so he should have gotten to it. But they don't take miles per hour into it. So if it was hit 111 miles an hour, or if it was hit 80 miles an hour, they don't take that into effect.
yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay.
Big difference.
We don't need to go down the war
No,
rabbit hole
no.
again.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We've done it a couple times. None of us care.
I will say, Paul Molitor has a special place in my heart because the baseball glove I used for like majority of my life was a Paul Molitor model glove.
Oh, cool.
So
Just a little more tidbits on top of the already impressive things we added. He has almost 1,800 runs scored, so he got on base and we already know about the 500 stolen bases, so he was a great base runner. And then I lost track of where I was. Oh, he has over 600 doubles and 114 triples, which is a very impressive number. I mean, he has a season of 16 triples in a year, a season of 13 triples in a year. I mean, 114 triples and over 600 doubles plus 234 home runs is pretty impressive. And he's well into the 3,000 hit club. So
you said 114 triples, though you said, Wade?
I believe so.
Yeah, I got that ranks him 113th all time on the triples list.
It's not too bad.
which is actually way farther down than I thought 114 would get him.
We got to think Major League Baseball's been around for like 140 years. That's a lot of players.
Hall of Famer Sam Crawford is the all-time leader in triples with 309.
Did he play way back in the day?
Yes, he's old.
Okay.
And Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner's 2 and 3.
That
Yeah,
shit doesn't
right there.
count.
It counts. Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't.
So, yeah. All right, well, who has a 3 left? I guess nobody but me. Well, my number 3 is Harold Baines. Who I checked did play a bunch of games at DH. I don't remember what it was now. I have to look again, but I checked before I put him on my list. Hold on. Gotta look at it here. Appearances. My computer is being so ridiculous tonight. There's
You have to update on a consistent basis, Alex.
Thanks, Ray. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
He played 1,600 games at DH. And then he also played over 1,000 games in the outfield. But he did play the most games at DH. And here is another guy that obviously played a bunch. He played 22 seasons, almost 3,000 games.
Good Lord.
That sounds like so much.
It is
Like
a
that-
bunch, dude.
It is,
That's crazy.
3,000 games.
Man.
This is a guy with a 289 batting average. He has. Yeah. See, here's the thing. He's played so many seasons. I have to scroll up and follow the column down and scroll down because I can't look at the top of the column and make sure I'm in the right column before I say a stat. So like I kind of sound like an idiot because I can't read or something when I'm trying to do this.
Didn't he
But-
jump around teams too? So that
Yes.
adds extra columns. Into
Yes,
his-
Yeah.
he's traded a whole bunch of times mid-season, so it adds
Yeah,
columns.
so it's 2 teams for the season. Then it
Yeah.
Expands it out even more.
I bet there's like 30 columns on here. It's ridiculous.
He's a pretty underrated player, really.
He
It
is.
was.
Yeah,
I definitely looked at him.
he's at 384 home runs, and 2,866 hits. So he didn't quite get to 3,000. He almost got there. Like I said, 289 batting average. That's my question right there. He had a 289 batting average for 22 seasons. How didn't he get to 3,000 hits? Because we've got guys in the 3,000 hit club like Ricky Henderson, who we keep bringing up, has a lower batting average than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Did he miss a bunch of games? Or
let's see here.
some guys miss 20, 30 games every year, and it adds up over time.
Yeah, I mean, what's 22 times 162? Somebody got a calculator real quick? Just find out how many games he missed real quick.
Yeah. You said what?
22 times 162.
3,564.
So he missed 700 games in his career.
Okay.
Still
Awesome,
not as
Jim.
many as
As Barry.
Barry. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a 6-time All-Star. He also has a Silver Slugger. He's smaller than I thought he was. He's 6'2", which is a decent height, obviously. But he's 6'2", 175.
Oh, wow. That's kind of...
I never
Dan?
would have guessed that.
Me
I mean,
neither.
just seeing him play,
Right.
I definitely would have thought he was bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't think I have too much else to add. Harold Baines is one of those guys. I don't think he's like an elite player. He's another guy that was pretty remarkably consistent over the course of a long career. And he played 1,600 games at DH. That's why I made my list. All right, so that's everybody's number 3?
Yep.
So who has a 2 left?
I do.
Go ahead, Drew.
My number 2 is Frank Thomas.
He is my number 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
Frank's
also-
my number 1.
He's also my number 2.
Well, I said before before we came on air, I didn't put him on my list, but I guess it's because I didn't check his games played. I just think of him playing first base.
Yeah, I mean, true.
We said it was relatively close, though, right? Well, it wasn't like he blew it out of the water,
It
was
was
it?
like 800 to like 1100 and something.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was like 900 to like 1300.
All right, it's 1,300 to 900. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, well, old Frank has 2 MVPs, 5-time All-Star, 4 Silver Sluggers, a batting title, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So,
Oh, yeah, Frank Thomas has a really, really good career. I mean,
I was saying, then his MVP vote is like his first 8 years out of the 8 years, 7 of the 8, and he's in the top 8 of voting, and then 4 of those years he's in the top 3. So,
he's got 521 home runs while batting 301 for his career.
Yeah.
The on base percentage is the big one.
Yeah, 419
Yeah.
on base
For your
percentage.
career, like that's nuts.
We didn't have a single shortstop that came anywhere close to having an on base percentage of 400.
yeah, that one year he's close to 500. That's crazy.
He walked over 1,600 times. That's crazy good. Like that's you get on base 42% of the time in baseball. You're a machine. You're an absolute machine. And a lot of that fell off later in his career. His prime.
He stuck around too long. If his averages and stuff would be a lot nicer if he wouldn't have stuck around so long. Kind of like Pujols.
Yeah.
We'll see if they had that Total T performance back in the day. Maybe he would have done a little bit better.
Oh yeah, because was it Frank Thomas and what Doug
Flutie.
Flutie?
Flutie, yeah.
So some guy like randomly like the gym was like, man, I just not feeling it anymore. And it's like Frank and Doug come over. Hey, if you take Nugenics,
Yeah, your girls will like it too.
oh really? There's like Frank doing bench press. Oh, look at him.
He led the league in runs one year. He led the league in doubles one year. He led the league in walks 4 times. He led the league in on-base percentage 4 times. He won a batting title, like I think it was Drew that mentioned that. He led the league in OPS 4 times. So he was a hitter. Now, every single thing I just said happened while he played first base, because it was all at the beginning of his career. But yeah, his none of these guys so far careers compared to Frank Thomas. So is some of you done?
I'm done.
I'm not. I still got my one left.
Yeah, I still got one
I
left.
still have my one left, but I'm a little taken back here, Willard.
What about Poppy?
You left Poppy completely off your list?
I did. I did indeed.
I'll say he's my 2, in case you're wondering.
He's my one.
He's my one.
He's my one.
So is that everybody? Nobody else has anybody left other than Poppy?
And look at it. 5 big ones again. 5 people.
David Ortiz is,
He's 5.
We got 3 4s, right?
yeah. David Ortiz is a Hall of Famer. He's a 10-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champ. He's got 7 silver sluggers. He's got a World Series MVP. He's got an ALCS MVP. He's got a 286 average with 541 home runs, 1,700 RBIs. He has a whole 17 stolen bases. He's got a 380 on base percentage, 552 slug. That's almost 2,500 hits for his career.
And this is your guy, ain't it, Alex? The old Boston guy?
Yes. He does what I think you would expect a DH to do. He mashes for power.
He had some great playoff runs.
He might be the greatest playoff performer in the history of baseball. He's like I said, he has 3 World Series rings, but he also hit like 680 for an entire playoffs one year, and the rest of the team did nothing. Like Dustin Pedroia hit like 160, and he was our second best player that year, and we ended up winning the World Series because Poppy just took over the entire playoffs. It was asinine. I mean, you Cardinal fans probably remember we beat you guys in the World Series.
Oh,
that year. It was what was that?
You beat
13,
us.
was that 2013?
Yeah, he was nuts. Well, the round before that in the ALCS, he killed the Tigers.
Yeah.
Because he hits like a 2-run home run, and like the next inning later he hits a grand slam.
Is that the one where Sheffield flips over the fence and falls into the bullpen?
Yeah, 'cause he tears it up. Tigers, Cardinals. Yeah, it was.
Where is the playoff stats on Baseball Reference? Why are all three of them different?
Yeah.
Like basketball, you scroll down to it. Football, you just click the tab.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I just want to look at his playoff stats, so I'm not misspeaking.
His career batting average in the postseason is .289. He's got 17 home runs, 61 RBIs.
Here we go. Yeah,
he does have a couple series where his batting average is like he has one where it's like 545, one where it's 714, one where it's 688.
Like I can't remember the exact stat, but like the 2013 World Series, he hits like 688 that series, but like he has like all the hits for the Red Sox in the entire series, but just like a few. Like the rest of the team only got like 3 or 4 hits, and Poppy has all the rest of the hits for the entire series for the team. Like the 2013 Red Sox team wasn't that impressive. Like Poppy just put him on his back, which is asinine.
One team I forgot about Boston is 07 when they played Colorado.
Yeah, the 07 team was actually really good. We still had a lot of guys left over from the 04 team. But there wasn't anything super dramatic about our playoff run. Like, we didn't come back from a huge deficit from the Yankees. We didn't play a great team like the Cardinals in the World Series. We ran into the Rockies, who still not even sure how they got there, and we swept them. And it was just like we just kind of swept our way through the playoffs, and it was over. Like I think we went to 6 games with the Indians, but that was about it. Of course, we won one after that, but not with Poppy in 18. Anyway, that's all I got. So again, like Drew said, 5 guys again.
Magic number.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Now that I guess I know we're going to use Frank Thomas, I'll take my Harold Baines pick off and put it on Frank Thomas.
Ooh, okay.
So Frank's in.
Frank is on the list.
Wow.
Okay.
What was Thomas's nickname back in the day?
Big Hurt. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big Hurt.
He was a big man.
He was.
I don't know. I should look and see what they had enlisted at. I just closed the page. Frank Thomas, 6'5", 240. It's tight end shit.
Yeah.
They left him at 240.
Yeah.
He looks bigger.
He was bigger than 240.
Way bigger.
When I think of Frank Thomas, I'm not thinking of a tight end. I'm thinking like my left guard.
Didn't he play another sport in college?
Bo knows baseball.
No, that's Bo, not Frank Thomas.
My bad.
He played football, didn't he? Like in something. I don't know.
He went to Auburn.
Yeah, he went to Auburn. Yeah.
There's no way he's 240 pounds when he beefed up.
Let me look Google and see how much Frank Thomas. Because remember we had this problem in, what was it, basketball?
Yeah, but like basketball, they put like their draft weights on here.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what he weighed when he came into the league. Because he was thinner when he came into the league.
Right.
It says Frank Thomas weighs 275.
That sounds a little more like it.
On here it says David Ortiz and Ken Griffey Jr. weigh the same at 230.
What?
King Griffey was not 230.
And neither was Ortiz.
Ortiz was fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Griffey was skinny
Yeah.
until at the very end. He got a little dad bod at the very end, but he still wasn't
And
230.
Jim Throne, he weighs 250.
Tommy?
Yeah, he weighs 250.
Did you just say Jim Throne? Jim Tomei? Are you serious? First off, Jim Tomei is a Hall of Famer who has like 600 home runs. And second off, he's from fucking Peoria, Illinois. He's from right over there.
I can't think in my head which direction we're facing.
I'm pointing south, so that's probably but
that way.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 1 in,
King Griffey.
3 guys for 2 spots.
So who are the 2 guys with Molitor? Wade and Doug.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have to make a deal this week. That's
And
nice.
Wade doesn't have Ortiz, and I don't have Martinez.
So it's up to us to.
Or steal somebody to our side.
I don't know, I like Molitor. I think he's probably the best all-around one up there, to be honest.
You think so?
Just all around? Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, be quiet.
Why does it do that? Is it?
I
Did
don't
you say
know.
my name? Is that what you call it?
He said Molitor. So I don't know how she.
Oh, I don't.
Or maybe.
So do we want to do like comparisons like we did last week? Like I have Molitor and Martinez pulled up.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Molitor and Martinez. Molitor played 600 more games than Martinez. With 4,000 more plate appearances. That's a shitload of plate appearances. 4,000. It's 12,000 to 8,000.
What?
Wow.
All right. Well, obviously Molitor has 1,100 more hits and 4,000 more plate appearances. Somebody's messing with their mic stand. I can hear it really loud.
That was me. Okay.
Molitor has 85 more doubles. He has 100 more triples. Edgar has 70 more home runs. Molitor has 40 more RBIs. He has like 450 more stolen bases. Edgar Martinez has... No, that's not true. Sorry. Molitor has 42 more walks. Edgar Martinez batted 6 points higher. Edgar Martinez has a on-base percentage 40 points higher. And his slugging percentage is like, it's 448 to 516. And then OPS, Edgar's is 933 to 817. It's similar to what we did last week with the shortstops, only it's a little bit more extreme. Edgar kind of kicks his butt in all the average stats, and Molitor cleans up in all the totals, except for home runs. 4,000 plate appearances still blows my mind.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Like, I know Molitor played like 22 seasons, but 4,000 plate appearances?
Well, you know, I think Martinez, like I said, didn't really start playing until he was approaching 30 years old.
Oh, I know, but I mean, he still played like 19 years. Like,
That's insane.
So what do y'all think? That clear anything up for anybody? Here's my thing, guys. I'll be honest with you. I could Molitor and Edgar, I don't care. Either one I'm getting in doesn't hurt my feelings.
they were the two that I definitely had Frank in. I definitely had Ortiz in, and then Molitor and Martinez were my two that I went back and forth on.
Because I think I said it earlier. I didn't even look at Molitor. I didn't even realize he played that much at DH. I think of Paul Molitor as a second baseman for some reason. Whether that's, I guess I'm wrong, but
Here, I'll spice some stuff up here.
Oh boy.
Where'd you leave?
I went to Molitor.
so you took Edgar and went to Molitor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, jeez.
Spice it up, guys.
Can't remember when I was getting ready to
Spice
look
it up. I don't know how much you spice it up. More like confused. Make the process longer.
Molitor.
So did you have Edgar and Molitor, Wade?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out how we were short on it. That's how it is. Okay.
So who's got Edgar left?
Be
Me.
Those three.
I have Edgar.
Yeah, it's me, Wade, and Drew.
Okay.
take my Edgar Martinez vote and put it on Poppy.
All right.
All right, since Wade did that, I'll take my Edgar and move it to Molitor.
Some poppies in.
So who's left with Edgar?
Drew.
Oh.
Well, I guess move my Edgar. Let me see here. Who do I want to put? Molitor. Let's go with him.
All right. Sounds like a good idea.
Sorry, Drew, for starting a chain reaction.
So let me ask you guys
I'm
something.
not a huge.
And maybe nobody knows the answer to this. Maybe we'll have to look it up. But this is 2 weeks in a row that we've really struggled with where guys fall, like position-wise.
Right.
Where do you think these guys are listed in the Hall of Fame? These are guys are all Hall of Fame. I mean,
what are the rules? Do they get to pick?
I don't know. I know they get to pick their team.
Right, they get to pick their team. I wonder if they get to pick their position.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Poppy's clearly a DH. But
Yeah.
but is Frank Thomas listed at DH or first base? Is Paul Molitor played like 6 positions?
Right.
You know, like where did he go in at? Do we need to look at the Baseball Hall of Fame page and see where he's at, like, or what these guys are, or where's Stan the Man at?
Right, yeah, that's just what I was thinking. He played all
Pete
over.
Rose. I don't know where Pete Rose is listed.
Yeah, Pete Rose or Craig Biggio.
Right.
Yeah. That's a
You
good
know,
one.
these guys that are in the Hall of Fame, they've got the numbers, but they played all over the place.
Yeah.
All right, Frank Thomas in the Baseball Hall of Fame, primary team, Chicago White Sox, primary position, first baseman.
Interesting.
Okay.
Even though he played 400 less games there.
So can you put in Paul Molitor and see what he said?
Didn't
Yeah.
Frank Thomas's prime though come at first base?
As I said, all of his
he won his
awards,
MVPs there.
yeah,
Right.
all of his
That stuff.
MVPs, his Silver Sluggers, everything.
Batting
came there.
titles and
Batting
stuff,
titles
yeah.
all came at the first base. Yeah,
So that's, I guess, somewhat understandable.
Yeah.
but in all honesty, though,
Paul Molitor, primary team, Milwaukee Brewers, primary position, third baseman.
Okay.
Third baseman. Okay.
yeah, he played 400 games at second, and like 600 games at third.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. What's Stan the Man come up as, Drew?
Well, I'll look it up.
I wonder what the outfield is if they specify, or if they just say
Yeah,
outfield.
They just say outfield.
I'm not sure. You see that? Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
would say that one wasn't me, Alex.
That was Wade.
You see Fred McGriff just got in.
I know, and I was happy for him. I thought Fred should have been in already.
He was the only
He
one.
was very, very good.
And what was it? Pete Rose and Barry Bonds got less than 4 votes. I saw like the ballot like count.
Clemens, Bonds, a few other people, and then Schilling and somebody else were close misses. Schilling and somebody else, but this was the Hall of Famers voting. This was not the
Right.
media.
Yeah. I don't know. Bonds and Clemens and Rafael Palmeiro and Sosa and all them, like, they did. This is their fault. Like, Pete Rose, it is technically his fault, but
It's
who
different.
cares?
I feel like it's different.
And he
I know a
did
lot
have
of
to-
baseball,
didn't
big
he-
baseball fans that are like, "Fuck no, Pete Rose can never get in." So
No.
maybe I'm weird.
Didn't
but-
he gamble after he was done being a player?
Yeah, he was a
He's
manager.
a manager.
So-
and he
Yeah.
never bet against
Yeah.
his team.
So let him in as a player.
Right, that's what I've always
didn't
said.
cheat
as a
He cheated as a manager, not as a
Right.
player.
He didn't even cheat. Like,
Well,
he just gambled.
That's just taking his word for it. I don't
Right,
know if I want to
yeah.
get into
That
all
could be.
that.
Right, yeah.
But
You're right.
like,
But as a player, he didn't do anything wrong.
right, we've never nobody can prove one way or the, like that. We know for a fact that he bet as a manager. We've never seen that as a player.
Right.
Well, they need to lift it at this point because you're pretty much being a hypocrite, taking all this fucking money from these sponsorships of FanDuel and all this other shit. I mean, it's about time to fucking just lift it.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've said this for years. I fully believe that he and the commissioner had a deal. That he would accept
agree.
this, and then the commissioner would lift it, and Bart Giamatti died
He died.
unexpectedly.
Yeah, I agree.
And I really think that was their deal.
Could be.
Mm.
Could be.
All right, well, same usual, left field.
Left. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Anybody else while we're doing this?
Pujols.
Oh, Pujols,
What,
yeah.
he play first, third, and outfield?
And
DH?
DH.
Well, he won't be in there yet because he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame. That's
So
true.
it won't come up yet.
I think he'll go as a first baseman.
What about Craig
Yeah.
Biggio?
Yeah, he played a lot of time at spread out. What was he?
Really?
Catcher, second, outfield,
Yeah.
something like that.
I bet he's in there second.
I was
That's
thinking
the way
that.
I think of it.
Craig Biggio, second baseman.
Yeah.
He played. Whoa! It's not as spread out as I thought. He played 400 games at catcher, 300 games in the outfield, and 2,000 games at second base.
Yeah, there we go.
It is super impressive though to be able to be an MLB quality catcher,
Right.
and then also play multiple other positions.
Yeah, it is.
That is
Yeah.
pretty legit.
And one of them's up the middle.
Right, yeah.
I mean, not kind of two of them. He played 255 games at center field.
Yeah. I mean, he was an athlete.
And that was
Yeah.
at the stupid center field where it's
Yeah,
all,
the hill in it. Yeah.
not
Yeah,
not
that
a regular
was,
center field. You gotta run up a
the
hill
mound
to catch a
like
ball.
4:30.
He's also a guy that played 500 games at catcher and stole 400 bases.
Yeah.
Really, it's pretty rare stuff. It's pretty rare.
Did we even
talent.
talk about Biggio in the second baseman episode?
No.
We probably didn't think about it because we always assumed he played a bunch of other places. But did anybody put him on their list?
We talked about one of the Bs.
It wasn't
Bagwell.
Biggio.
You had Bagwell
It was
on
Bagwell,
your first baseman.
Who was our second baseman? Does anyone remember now? Who was
Joe
it?
Morgan.
Joe Morgan, yeah.
Roger Hornsby
Yeah.
and Roberto Alomar.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I had Biggio on my list, so we probably at least mentioned him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 3,000 hits.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should stop talking about Craig Biggio.
we settled our three pretty quick.
We
We did.
Yeah.
We did. So just so the listeners can be sure, our three designated hitters, I keep trying to say DH, but I want to say designated hitters so everybody knows. Designated hitters are Frank the Big Hurt Thomas, David Big Poppy Ortiz, and Paul Molitor. I don't know if he had a nickname or not, but not one that I
I
recognize.
don't remember, yeah.
So, yeah, and we're pretty spread out over time there, too.
Yeah.
All right, well, gentlemen, shall we trivia it up?
Yeah, sounds good.
Drew, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am. All right. Who is the youngest MVP winner?
The youngest MVP winner. Interesting.
While they're writing down their answers, don't forget to subscribe. Give us good ratings, please.
Press that subscribe button. Okay.
All right, I got an answer.
Difficult. Let's think through the last 140 years. Who was young when they won?
Oh,
the
wait,
MVP?
if I have to listen to you for the rest of the time out, let me go back to when baseball started in 1870.
I got to guess.
All right, I wrote something down.
Is that everybody?
Yep.
All right, I said Harper.
Okay.
But Trout.
I said Junior.
Okay.
I also said Ken Griffey Jr.
It's Vita Blue for the Oakland A's in 1971.
Vida Blue.
Yeah. Well, at least that's somebody we know.
Yeah.
He was 21.
I knew Harper won an MVP, and he came in at 19. I knew it wasn't at 19 when he won the MVP, but I wasn't for sure how old he was. I thought about Griffey. I also thought about Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth started playing like 18,
Oh,
but I didn't know
yeah.
when he won his first MVP.
Yeah.
All right, good question, Drew. Wade, you got one?
Yeah. Satchel Paige. It's the oldest player. It's kind of funny. We had the kind of age thing going on. Was the oldest player to play in Major League Baseball. How old was he during his at the beginning of his last season?
I got an answer.
How old was he?
By the way, I'm trying to remember who it is, but
Yeah.
it's a baseball player we would all know if I remembered their name, but he's not like an all-time great. But he keeps coming back every year and playing one game in one of the independent
Yeah.
leagues, and extending. He's the oldest professional baseball player or whatever. But like he passed out on the mound this year. Like he was on the mound and just fell over unconscious. Like when they had to call an ambulance out on the field, and like I'm just like, come on now. Anyways, everybody got an answer?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, I said 52.
Said 47.
I said 42.
I also said 42.
He was 58.
Holy
58?
And he turned 59 during the season, I believe.
Holy
Oh
cow.
my God.
Well, he didn't. Like, he played like 10 seasons in the Negro Leagues.
Yeah.
So, like, I knew he was old. And I remember in my lifetime Julio Franco playing at 49. So I knew it was older than that.
I thought you knew it how quickly you wrote your answer down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever someone writes it down quickly, I'm like, oh, they got it.
All right. Uncle Doug?
Okay. Now you have to listen to my question here. All right. Most Silver Sluggers at DH is Big Papi with 7.
Mm-hmm.
Who's second? It's DH.
Right, DH.
So they have to be DHing to be able to get the.
Right.
So this is not like Frank Thomas has 12, but a lot of them are at first base.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. This is actually one at DH.
Oh, boy.
All right, I got an answer.
I think of people I'm like, were they good enough to win a couple of Silver Sluggers when they DH'd? Like, I think of people.
And you also got to think who else was DHing at that time,
Right.
because they'll split them up if you're not careful. I have an answer, by the way.
I wrote someone down.
I know we got a couple, but I don't remember if this was when he was DHing or if this was when he was in the outfield. All right.
Ray, you got one?
Yep, I'm locked in.
All right. I said Edgar.
I said Josh Hamilton.
But Tomei.
I also put Jim Tomei.
It was actually Edgar
Hmm.
and Paul Molitor.
Oh. Yeah.
They tied with 4 apiece.
By the way, because the Denver game's on, I saw him out there. I just want to bring this up. So I thought this was really funny. It was been a few weeks ago now, Uncle Doug. We were talking about Contavious Caldwell Pope. You literally, this is like a day after we recorded, where you said I can't ever remember him shooting well, and the next day I went and looked at I was looking at stats online, and he was leading the NBA in 3-point percentage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just screw us. I know. It's crazy.
Denver's got a lot of good players.
Yeah. He's not anymore, by the way. I mean, he's still shooting really well, but he's not leading the NBA.
Yeah. No, why did you? Well, I won't even go there. Yeah, I have an idea why, but.
All right, Ray, you ready, bud?
I am.
All right, let's do it.
All right. In 2005, the White Sox traded outfielder Aaron Rowan to the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Which eventual Hall of Famer did Chicago get in return? And this is not a trick question this time, so I'll let you know that one.
Got my answer.
I got my answer, too. I know this guy played for both those teams.
Same here.
Whether he came over in this trade or not, I'm not sure, but
Same here.
yeah. But I mean, Aaron Rowan's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a decent player.
He was a really good defender there for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I hated I was 2 when this happened.
Hey, your question was from the 70s. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't ask it to me.
Well, I got an answer. It's wrong, but I got an answer. So I don't hold us up.
I don't even know.
Everybody got one.
Yeah, why not?
I said Jim Tomei.
Jim Tomei.
I said Harold Baines.
I say Cliff Lee.
It is Jim Tomei.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when I picture Tomei in my head, I see him in a Phillies uniform.
I think of him as the Indians.
Yeah, me too.
I do remember him.
I think you were missing Indian.
Because that was probably the best team of his career, though. And because they had him and Manny Ramirez and Kenny Lofton.
Yeah.
And Sandy Alomar Jr. was behind the plate.
Oh, yeah, Derek loved
Did
him.
they have like Albert Bell or something?
Albert Bell, yep. Good call, Wade.
Kenny Lofton.
Yeah, I said Kenny Lofton. But they had a good pitcher, too, at that time. Was Cologne there at that time? Was that Cologne?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. That was Ray's question, right? So it's me.
Yep.
All right. So I have an interesting one for you all. All right. On August 16th, 1920. Yankees pitcher Carl Mays hit what Cleveland Indian in the head with his pitch and killed him?
And you just got on me for asking a 1970s question.
No, I was just pointing out the hypocrisy of your comment. I wasn't getting on you.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think you might have stumped everybody. I looked at this one.
Yeah, I can't even write an answer down.
Well, I will give you this. I asked this question for a reason because it has very big historical significance in baseball. But the person that died, other than the fact that he died from this, isn't horribly significant as far as like baseball playing.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Is that everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
What you got?
Joe Smith.
But Williams.
Yeah, Jones.
I don't have nothing.
Indian shortstop Ray Chapman was hit in the head by a fastball and died. And that led to baseball banning the spitball.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay, gotcha. Except if you're Phil Necro, right?
Yeah.
Or not? Is it Necro?
No, Necro was the knuckleballer.
Necro's a knuckleballer.
The guy that
Yeah.
just died through it.
Right.
The
yeah.
guy that literally just died like this
Yeah.
week.
Oh,
Gaylord.
Gaylord Perry. Yep.
That's it. Yeah, Necro was a knuckleballer. Sorry, Phil. Didn't mean to.
Yeah. So,
I didn't realize how good Gaylord Perry was.
he's a beast, man.
I went and looked at his numbers after I read an article about him after his passing. And wow.
Yeah. he was
What a
good.
monster.
So there was some movement on the trivia list this week. In first place, there is now a tie between Drew and Alex
Oh.
at 5 apiece.
Really?
Yeah, I
Caught him
got
quick.
2 last 2 weeks.
And then now, solo in third place is Wade with 3. And in fourth place is Uncle Doug with 2.
I'm fading fast.
And Ray with 0.
Woo!
And we should, for the next 3 episodes, have a guest.
I'm going to
So-
put on an audio book or something.
So, Ray,
I know. I got buddy study sessions galore here I got to get into.
We need to visit the island, Ray.
I
Step
know.
our game up.
all right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this designated hitter episode. We would appreciate you tuning in next week for, well, one of our outfield positions. Which outfield position are we even doing first?
Start at left and work our
Yeah.
way over.
Start.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, our left field episode. We also would like to remind you to send us some emails, questions, concerns, corrections, comments, whatever you'd like. Send us some emails.
Things you'd like us to talk about?
Yeah.
And subscribe to the
Sports
podcast.
the NEMO Way at gmail.com.
If you have
Yes.
any trivia questions, we'll ask them.
Yeah. You have,
Think you can stump us?
right. Or give us some 5-star reviews. We would appreciate that. And you can keep your 1-star reviews. We don't need those. And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.